Lonnie Love is a booty call. Nobody wants to be involved with that attitude. Nobody wants to be involved with that look in their right mind if you can go otherwise.
Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about a statement that Lonnie Love made.
Hey, you can't just start this at Lonnie. This actually started with Kevin Hart, because of a statement that he made on his Netflix docuseries.
Right, so let's play the clip Kevin Hart, then we'll play what Joe Budden said, and then we'll play what Lonnie Love said. So here is Kevin Hart from his Kevin Hart special.
I don't have my circle around me. My circle ain't there because Kevin is doing what? I'm moving in unfamiliar territory. I done called the audible. You circle around you, it's very hard for you to do stupid shit. Get tapped on your back. Hey, dummy, what are you doing? Ain't got nobody with me.
Then Joe Budden replied with this.
No, but in thinking about how hard he works, like sometimes you're not on but for 10 seconds in the day for however many days. And I, as a man, can understand how that can be difficult.
And then Lonnie Love said this.
I don't speak for the black community, but I do think that a lot of black men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships. They think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way.
Lonnie Love is saying things.
And that is something we need to work on. We are still dealing with the point of slavery, and we are descendants of slavery. And because our families were broken up, we still do not have an idea of how to have together families, because our families were broken up.
I disagree with every single one of those people, Kevin Hart, Joe Budden, and Lonnie Love, simply because cheating is a matter of choice. That's it. Niggas make choices. And when you cheat, it's a choice that you as a man are making to feed your ego. It has nothing to do with your boys not being around. It has nothing to do with men working too hard. It's not a matter of race. Men make choices, and cheating is always a poor choice because it's ego driven. Every single time I've cheated is because I wanted to and I was feeding my ego. And it comes a point in time when men have to realize, hey, I have an amazing woman at home. I have a family. I don't want to lose that over some other woman. So you start making better choices. Stop trying to find the right way to do the wrong thing. Everybody making all these excuses as to why people cheat. No, hold yourself accountable for simply making poor choices. It's no science to it. End of story.
So guys, before we move any further, Jessica Brown had this to say about the N-word that Charlamagne used.
I don't like that word where the descendants of slaves are using the slave terminology to refer to themselves. It's very self-demeaning. You can't be free until you free your mind, and until we free our minds from the use of that word, amongst other things, we can't possibly act like a free people.
All right, guys, that is all that Jessica Brown had to say. Now I'm going to replay what Charlamagne the God had to say, because I totally agree with him. I think that when people cheat, that they cheat because they do not value the relationship and they do not value loyalty. So there you have it. I'm also going to play the comments from a few other radio hosts and then cut to commercial break and then tune in, patch you into a previously recorded live broadcast, the one that happened on Friday featuring RIZZA Islam. All right. See you down in the comments section.
That's it. Niggas make choices. And when you cheat, it's a choice that you as a man are making to feed your ego. It has nothing to do with your boys not being around. It has nothing to do with men working too hard. It's not a matter of race. Men make choices, and cheating is always a poor choice because it's ego driven. Every single time I've cheated is because I wanted to and I was feeding my ego. And it comes a point in time when men have to realize, hey, I have an amazing woman at home. I have a family. I don't want to lose that over some other woman. So you start making better choices. Stop trying to find the right way to do the wrong thing. Everybody making all these excuses as to why people cheat. No, hold yourself accountable for simply making poor choices. It's no science to it. End of story.
The one thing that people miss, and this is not a cultural thing. Yes, there are some broken up family issues with black people, but it's not all black men. There's men listening to me right now that have been faithful in their relationship and have not cheated at all. Sure. And I'm going to take it a step further. As a black man, when your family and your woman doesn't even believe you're capable, you start to feel frustrated. When your family doesn't believe in you and that you're honorable, imagine that pain when you're trying to be honorable and you're doing everything right and your family doesn't believe in you. And black women continue to get on platforms talking about all men do this and all black men do that and all black men have these problems. And as a black man, you're working on those problems and you're looking at your people. These are supposed to be your people. Going out in public, thrashing you all the time. And not that it's not there aren't men that have these problems. But it's not just black men out here cheating.
Come on.
Right, that's crazy.
Come on.
That's the crazy part.
The only thing I was going to weigh in on this subject was that this is the second time in a week where there's been a public moment where a black woman has come out and said the problem with black men, as if white people don't do that. No, it's only what you're experiencing because that's the world that you're in and you're dealing with black men. Like, ask white women if they've ever dealt with that experience. So like,
or women from any culture.
I wish people would refrain from trying to label black men as a whole one thing. It's just not fair.
I appreciate you saying that, because I'll tell you what, man, as black men, you are always the problem. Always the problem.
Radio, DJ.
One nation, one station.
This show is sponsored by myoliveleaf.biz, myoliveleaf.biz.
And Top of the Food Chain Films at blackwhiteandbluefilm.com. Again, that's blackwhiteandbluefilm.com.
All right, Judge RIZZA and the rest of the panel. I see a familiar number on the line, so I am going to open up his mic. 407, Maurice Duncan. Welcome to the show.
Brother RIZZA was on the Mansions show a couple of days ago. I know y'all was talking about the situation with Lonnie Love and how she was talking about black men don't do this, black men don't do that. But I do kind of find it funny that these so-called network producers, they can go out there and show that type of negative light on with our young black men, but then when the positive come, is nothing ever to be spoken upon. You know, and I find that kind of disheartening, because it's just like, you know, okay, I get it now. We're not the product that y'all want to see, because you basically showing alpha maleism. You know, you're not, you know, weak, and you're becoming men and taking stands and going out there to show the community that, okay, we're giving back and we're young and we're doing it. But that's not going to be talked about. And I just find it so ugly that, you know, the negative can come in, but when our young, you know, brother Jay, you know, once again, my brother RIZZA, and the rest are out there doing the positive, even our brother Umar, you know, the main thing they just want to push is negativity, and most of it comes from our own people. So I just wanted to get both of y'all take on it once again. Thank you, brother RIZZA, for coming on, man. Long time no hear, brother.
He wanted you guys to address what he just said, and then we're going to take another call.
Look, this is what I noticed, and this is why we addressed the remarks that she made. Exactly what the judge just said, the sour grape syndrome, meaning she was hurt. That sister clearly was hurt by one too many black men, you know, of her choosing. And yes, she, just like many black women, chose a black man first, long before going to a white man, and they were either hurt, they were betrayed, they were cheated on. And yes, black women do cheat as well, so it's not to just take them completely out of it. However, you could see in her eyes, you could see in her way she was leaning in that whole video, that she absolutely was hurt. That is a definite. I don't doubt that at all. Here's the only thing that I have to disagree with. You have not met all black men. And because of that, it is only fair that you do not generalize all black men. I have not met all black men. It's just that simple. You can mention the deadbeats who you have dated. Say that. Say in my experience. Not, well, all black men. Or she said, well, black men who get money feel as though they can blah, blah, blah. And black men who get power and money feel as though. My first question in my mind was thinking, what damn black men do you know in America who has power to do anything other than Minister Farrakhan? To be very frank, what black man are you talking about here who has so much power? He can do so. Oh, wait. Even during slavery, we didn't have so much authority over the black woman, and we don't have all that authority over her now. So for her to do what she did, she does not realize, or maybe she does, when you are speaking from such a large platform, it inspires, or should I say misguides, young black women, or even middle-aged black women, or young brown women, middle-aged brown women, even young white women, middle-aged white women. You cannot get up there and spew such rhetoric that is absolutely incorrect and think that it is going to have some positive outcome, or you just saying, well, hey, I'm just speaking from my experience. You have to make it clear that it is from your personal experience with the people who you have dated, or the people who didn't choose you, or just whatever happened between you and who those specific people are. Because what you do is you condemn the future of black love. You condemn the future of black family. We are already being attacked by every damn direction, from the trans situation to the whole LGBTQ situation to the government pushing an entire depopulation agenda, to families being attacked, to the black man being put in jail, to the black woman being attacked. You name it. The children having a homosexual agenda being forced on them in school. We are being attacked in every direction. So what we must do is promote all of the black love that we see, promote the positives about what we see, because if you sit here and just generalize, then we won't have a hope as a people, because they keep using people who look like us to destroy us. And the last thing I'm going to say on that is, all she had to do, again, was make her statement, but follow that up by saying, this is just my personal experience, because all she did was she said all that she said, and all of a sudden, I found love, and the love you found just so happens to be the same white man who raped your people. So you cannot try to sit there and relegate everyone's mental capacity to, well, what's the bag? What's the real prize? Who was the real king? Who was the real prince who grabbed your slipper and who woke you up and kissed you out of your sleepiness and you became Sleeping Beauty? Who was that? It's a white man. No, that white savior complex must be destroyed, because it is a damn lie. It has always been a lie. So any woman, any black man on television or mainstream has to stop generalizing all of us, and those of us who have a certain type of platform must check and correct them with love and let them know, stop doing that, because it's not true. The majority of black men are married to black women. The majority of black women are married to black men in America, but they don't promote that. They promote all these other things. So we have to just make sure we control the narrative. And anybody who's trying to speak for us, which I'm glad she said, I don't speak for black people, because she damn sure don't. And any black man who would have said the same thing, any black man who would have said the same thing that she said. No, you don't speak for all black people, because all black people, or the majority, are with black people. So the very nature of your statement is incorrect. So we have to be responsible. And lastly, brothers, if you are not interested in a sister, stop messing with her. Stop playing women. Stop abusing women. Stop taking advantage of women. Sisters, if you are not interested in a man, stop abusing them. Stop using them for money. Stop using them for sex. Stop using them for the luxuries and the perks and the plane rides or whatever the hell you get it. Stop. We both have to stop abusing and misusing one another, and we have to take responsibility for one another. And again, if you are overweight, then you must take responsibility for your weight. If you're underweight, you must take responsibility for being underweight. Everybody just has to be responsible for themselves. That's all. You know, we have to have self-love, and we have to love ourselves in order for us to love our people, and stop pointing fingers and start to take accountability for us as a community.
You know what? This woman compounded her error.
She did.
Forget the fact that the guy was white. He was broke and unemployed, and that's who she spends her time with. Next thing, did you hear the Latina sister when she said, but look, she interjected to defend the sister. She said, look, all men, when they get wealthy and have power, they may do this kind of thing. She says, no, I'm not talking about that. It's a black man thing, because black men learned this in slavery, and they're carrying it on now, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the other women, several women were trying to argue with
Amanda Seals, oh my God, I hate that woman.
Yeah. You know, men do that. But no, she had to turn it into a self-hate thing.
Exactly.
50 years ago, somebody that looked like Lonnie Love, you might see one every blue moon. 40 years ago, you saw a few more, but not many, and now it has become the norm. Lonnie Love is a booty call. Nobody wants to be involved with that attitude. Nobody wants to be involved with that look in their right mind if you can go otherwise.
So, Judge, before we go too far, as a woman, I'm not exactly sure how to respond to what you just said. When you said that Lonnie Love is a booty call, I don't know whether to be offended for her or to just respect your position. So can you please expound on what you just said?
Look, Miss Valerie, who wants that? She's unattractive, one, and her attitude is even less attractive. Why in the world would a man want to surround himself with, will be in the presence of that? It's a downer. If you're feeling up, you're going to be taken down to a low. And she's talking about all these white guys she wants. She is not going to find one of them because they don't want that attitude either. And she's not exotic, but her boyfriend is a white guy who's unemployed and broke, and she takes care of it. See, she wants to deal with this other thing the feminists to put in. Go find yourself, or the black edition of it, go find yourself a thug. It's thrilling, but since you pay the tab, you can cut it off, turn it on when you want it. You still call the shots. That's essentially not what women do, and that's not what men do, so it's all a mental construct, and it's sickness. But the bottom line is Red Fox used to say, follow an ugly kid home and you'll find ugly parents in the house, you know, or vice versa. You find ugly parents, you'll follow their kids and the kids will be ugly. It's a fact of life. Watch who you screw. If she's,
but
if
isn't
she isn't
beauty in the eye of the
best
beholder?
friend.
Isn't beauty in the eye of the beholder?
Yes, it's in the eye of the beholder. If your mama looks bad, then you might like bad-looking women. And most people, though, you know, we started out looking like our early ancestors, very close to chimpanzees. Now look at us, we don't look like that. And that's because there's kind of a universal standard of beauty. If you look at the realistic African art, say, that you find on the Juice Plateau by the Knox civilization, which anciently, 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, did sculpture that looks like the classic Greek and Roman stuff, you'll find that their standard of beauty was very close to what we now call European, at least body. When you look at a category of African women, you see all sorts of spectrum. But a lot of sisters here who think they look African fine would not be the first choice of somebody off in the bush either. So, I mean, it's part of this thing where they have negatives that they talk about body shaming. They talk about everybody should be accepted as beautiful. No, if you got a nice attitude, you're a nice person. That doesn't mean you're beautiful. It's just like, look at the man side of things. Everybody doesn't walk around looking like LeBron or Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. You know, you do if it applies to women. I mean, if it applies to men, it certainly applies to women too, and that's what the deal is. If a man wants to breed up, he becomes successful and it's a beautiful woman. If a woman wants to breed up, she is an attractive woman who's lucky enough to be born that way. She finds a successful man. That's the way it's real. So while we whoopee, let's get real. We've got 50 years. Well, you guys have. I don't, because I've been looking at this nonsense for the 50 years since I've been a grown man able to buy whiskey and vote and do anything else I wanted to, sign contracts. I've been looking at 50 years worth of poison spread by a media that was taken over by intention by people who do not like straight folk, do not like traditional manhood, detest and despise families, think marriage is a form of slavery for women. They have been controlling the media, both the print, motion picture, and television industry. They took it over after a long campaign. For the last 30 years, they have controlled it almost absolutely. And don't worry about wasting your time on Lonnie Loves and Charlemagne the Gook or whatever his crazy screwed up behind is. Those don't count because they have sold their souls to the devil. The contract has been signed in blood. They ain't worth a damn to anybody but their own bank accounts. And those who pay them so that they can distract all of the rest of the people from doing what they ought to be doing. Now, that's what's happening. Pay attention, Miss Valerie, to the people. They love you. They appreciate you. These other idiots,
even if they liked your message, they have sold their souls. They punked out. They don't have a damn thing going that they can point to in the real world. And one of their problems is they're so caught up in the entertainment industry and about how much it means to them and what they got to sacrifice. My answer to that is, screw you, go get a real job. Too much, since you emasculated the country, is in from that feminist perspective from the soap opera. That is not how the world works, and that problem is not a lack of love. It's a lack of ethics and morality, and I'm not talking about Jesus morality or Muslim morality to what you get in the churches. I'm talking about fundamental human reality of right and wrong in terms of right dealing, wrong dealing with your fellow human beings. We got caught up so much in the dialogue on love over the last 50 years is that we have forgotten what the hell it's supposed to be about. Let's get rid of this concept that everything's got to be about feelings. There are things that are independent of feelings that are realities, Ms. Valerie, and we got to deal with that.
All right, Judge, we got a few more minutes, and at this time I'm going to toss it back to Dr. Short.
All I want to say is that we have to be honest with ourselves as men and women and understand that sex and sexuality is their economics and their basic things to it. I want to mention something about Kevin Hart because people miss the forest for the trees. Why is Kevin Hart of such interest? I'll tell you why. The gay people are still attacking and punishing Kevin Hart, and they're vilifying him for being a heterosexual man. He's apologized. He's lost money. This has more, and they use that morbidly obese sister to attack him, which goes all the way back to the mammy on the plantation being the one in charge that would tell what the master's agenda was. Kevin Hart and these other folks, they don't really, in a real way, matter to black men and women other than these people sell popcorn and theater tickets for movies, or they fill concert halls, and they do. These folks aren't serious. They have no real impact or bearing on our lives. And so I heard what Judge was saying. I agree, these people are do-nothings. They do for themselves. And part of how they've enslaved humanity, in America in particular, is to get people to focus in on celebrities. And by the way, we've had some great celebrities like Muhammad Ali. Whether you like everything about him or not, his stance on the Vietnam War is incredible. It will always be incredible. I think most people will agree with that. Arthur Ashe. There have been some celebrities who've done things that really mattered. Lena Horne. We've had and we produced substantive people who happen to be entertainers, but they had a passion about black people and justice. Paul Robeson. And they may have been hoes. They may have slept with a lot of people, but ultimately they did what they could for the collective.
I wanted to say something. I just saw a really deep video today on Twitter. Nikki Giovanni once interviewed Lena Horne back in the mid-'70s, and she asked her about her white husband. And Lena, she was like, how come you never chose a black person, a black man? And she said she was once married to a black man, but she said she did not have the strength to really hold him down the way she wanted to, because she seen all the at that time what he had to go through being a black man, and she said she regretted that to this day. I wanted to get your take on that, Judge.
Well, Nikki Giovanni, I cussed out at a BSU meeting at UCLA one time. After the second time, she had Paulie Pavilions with 12,000 people sit in it, listening to her. She said marriage was poison, a form of slavery, told the women that if they wanted to have children, find somebody athletic, intelligent, get knocked up. Don't tell the SOB he's the daddy, because the only thing a father can do is mess kids up. And you did not need to be married to have a family. In fact, have it on your own. And I told her then, that was in 1968, it was poison, and the woman expressed that she didn't like men. She despised and detested them. So I'm not surprised that she asked that question of Ms. Lena Horne. And Lena Horne was candid in her truth. See, if you're going to deal with your own race, you have to deal with the fact that you both have a couple of strikes against you going in, and you're going to have to do something to boost both of you up, and some people just aren't that strong. She was in a position where she could make choices, and she did not uphold. So, you know, it was what it was. And she was candid.
Okay.
So, Judge, my comment to you is... Wait, are you guys... I'm sorry. Are you done?
Go ahead.
Or no?
Go ahead.
My comment to you is I was really appalled that you did not side with Charlamagne the God. I felt like you were throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because I thought he made a very poignant
he's an ass,
point.
and he needs to be treated as an ass. In other words, he's a pariah. There's nothing he could say that I would find particularly advantageous that has not been said by many wiser. He is a sellout. It's his business, but he needs to come on out and admit what he is. He gave his butt print to his fellow person on the show who has acknowledged that they are gay. I guess that's supposed to be, oh, you're gay, I guess you'd appreciate this, you know you want it. But then there's that thing of him saying he'd suck a certain person's penis if he had the chance, that he got, they even put on their YouTube channel. So, no, that's his business, but it's not what I want to do. I have nothing against him for doing it, but that's not what I... What?
You don't think that was true when he said that people cheat because that's what they want to do? And they're not looking at what they're sacrificing, they're not considering?
Look. You have to understand that to a great extent, this whole monogamous thing is a Judeo-Christian artifact. And it's not even too much Judeo, because look at Solomon and et cetera, et cetera. How many wives did he have? 1,000? So look at the pharaohs. How many did Ramesses have? He was notorious for having had more than 1,000 wives and several thousand concubines. I mean, it's part of human nature. It's not approved of. There are some reasons that it was not a good thing in a tense society that had a frontier. And it promoted loyalty at one time, but it's just like sort of asking a woman, why did you have more than one child? So it is what it is.
All right, Judge, I give up. You win. I'm throwing in the white towel. I have nothing else to say except what I've already said. And speaking of white towels, I was just about to end the show and I noticed a familiar number. I think it's DJ CLI-N-TELL from the group, The Wrecking Crew. So let me go on and open up his mic to see if he's got something he'd like to say.
Thank you very much. This is DJ CLI-N-TELL. I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. And just want to say that, the topics that I'm hearing are very interesting. I really appreciate the insights and everything that, you guys are saying, because these are things that we need to hear as a community. But I wanted to go back just a little bit to the whole Lonnie Love conversation and dive in a little bit deeper on some of the comments that she made and sort of her motivations for saying those. And I know someone had mentioned there was some self-hatred involved in that, and I want to say that I totally agree with that. However, I myself being, a person of color, black man, proud black man, was raised by some very strong and insightful black women who taught me the value of appreciating, number one, a woman, and then also, number two, appreciating a black woman. Because, again, without black women, even going back to, I know Lonnie had talked about the slave mentality and all of that, but the flip side of that is without black women, a lot of us would not have been able to survive that whole experience, wouldn't have been able to survive the Middle Passage, journey, nor survive generations of, servitude and captivity like that. So I just want to point out that the relationship was not so much that black people were divided during slavery, but because, again, slavery there's a wider umbrella, and a deeper psychological thing going on with that. But it was the black woman who allowed us to survive in those circumstances. So let's not get that twisted. And with Lonnie, I'm hoping that one day, she does wake up and realize and smell the coffee that all black men are not, bad, that all black men should not be painted with, one broad brush. I know a lot of brothers that I grew up with and examples of very positive, strong and community-minded, men who did a lot of good. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
I don't know if anyone. Okay, yes. Let me say this, brother.
I had myself on mute accidentally. I apologize. We're definitely going to have to do a part 2 with you so we can get your full story, and I apologize for that. Judge, this is the person who I told you, correct me if I'm wrong, DJ, your mom dated Tookie Williams. Is that correct? Judges?
That's correct.
Has a relationship, a personal relationship with him. So, Judge, this is the person I told you about. FYI.
Well, hello. Way back in the 60s, Cliff Stewart, Ron Chappelle, now Dr. Chappelle, now Dr. Stewart, now Grandmaster Stewart, and Joe Brown were the playground directors at Trinity Avenue Elementary School. Tookie was a skinny little 11 and 12-year-old kid there, and we tried to work with him. He was always intelligent. We also had another one of his playground mates that he knew. I don't know if he told you about it, is a gentleman now deceased who had his age put up because of his deep voice. He was another little skinny but tall little 12-year-old named Barry White. So we had an interesting playground there in South Central. Well, it wasn't South Central then, but it became that later. So you dated him.
My apologies, DJ Clientele. We are totally out of time, but I do want to give you an opportunity to address our listening audience. So at this time, could you please just go on and give us a brief backstory as it relates to your resume?
No worries, and I appreciate that. And Judge, I appreciate your comments. I started out with a group called the World Class Wrecking Crew that included Dr. Dre and DJ Yella and Ice Cube came along a little bit later on with Grandmaster Lonzo in South LA and Compton, and we started out as a DJ crew, and we became a rap group, and eventually they went on to do NWA. I went on to make sure that I made a promise to my mother and finish college and finish the university, and became a writer, but also continued in music. So I'll just leave it at that.
Please, I'm not trying to be funny, but do you remember Wrecking Crew? Are you old enough?
No, I do. Yeah, I'm straight out of Compton myself, so I definitely remember Wrecking Crew.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you right now.
All right, guys, that is it. That wraps Friday's broadcast. Like I said before, we are live every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to join the conversation, call us at 929-477-1167. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend who will tell a friend, because we definitely need to continue this conversation. So right now I am going to toss it to the sponsors and meet you down in the comments section. Thanks so much for joining me. Please continue to support. I need you. I definitely do. I can't do this by myself. All right. Goodbye.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Trump is sort of this walking white supremacy symbol. And they see that and they are buoyed. They're like, wow, like this is the guy who is the embodiment of what we wish we were.
Donald Trump made people comfortable with not having to be politically correct anymore.
That means white folk who want to go on with their racism, their bigotry, their sexism, their homophobia without being challenged.
He's playing to people's fears, and he's exploiting their fears for his own political ends. And I don't even know that he believes his own rhetoric.
He's not trying to give all the jobs in Chicago to people in Tegucigalpa.
Trump is the best thing we could have because we were bamboozled by the Democrats and the Republicans. Now we see that it's a system based upon the interests of rich white men with property and power, always has been, will not change.
When you say something like, make America great again, what does that mean?
Black, white, and blue. America, this song is for you.
Trump is not a racist. Trump is about business. And most business people like me want a guy like him in charge.
Hey, this is Valerie Denise Jones. I got a question for you. Did you enjoy that film? I really hope and pray that you did. Why? Because that film was produced by one of my favorite people and one of today's sponsors. His name is Curtis SCOON. Curtis SCOON has got a website. It is blackwhiteandbluefilm.com, blackwhiteandbluefilm.com. I need you to mosey on over to Curtis's website because he's got the perfect documentary for you. Now, you heard the trailer, but you can actually pick up the documentary in its entirety. Yes, I said in its entirety. You can rent it or buy it, and the prices are extremely low. Guys, I kid you not. Extremely low, and I'm frugal. Anyway, guys, the film itself stars some of my favorite people: Michael Eric Dyson, Charlamagne the God, Killer Mike, Lord Jamar Touré, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on. I love that film so much because I'm always looking for brilliant films that can turn my audiences into activists. Also, I love films that can awaken, alarm, and amuse, also inform and make me a tad bit angry. Why? Because I love to stay woke. Yes. Anyway, guys, meet me down in the comment section, but do that after you go to blackwhiteandbluefilm.com, blackwhiteandbluefilm.com, and pick up your copy.
Today's show is sponsored by My Olive Leaf. Please visit myoliveleaf.biz to shop for olive leaf extracts, which will assist your efforts to transform your life, detox your body, increase your energy, get restful sleep, and rid your body of antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. Do not delay. Contact the MOL reps today. Please visit myoliveleaf.biz for their full line of olive leaf extracts and moringa products. Oh yeah, for those of you who would like a personal consultation, please call the MOL reps at 612-567-3263. Also visit their website and social media pages for the latest on sales, new releases and more. Have a great day. See you in the comments section.